Alright, y'all. So, Mark Knight here. Little pro tip for everybody out there. Alright. I bought a brand new air compressor. Right? All of these fittings, every single one of them leaked like a sieve. And this isn't really on the manufacturer at all, actually. So, I mean, yeah, you will see the name brand on the compressor. I bought it brand new. Again, a word from not our sponsor. Wish they were. But every single one of these leaked. All three. And if you actually look right there, if the damn autofocus will work, there we go. You can just barely see it. There's a hairline crack in this housing. Alright? Now, again, this is not on the manufacturer. This is actually on the person that was assembling it. Because they decided, we're going to gorilla torque the piss out of these fittings to where you can't even get them off. For absolutely no reason whatsoever. And one thing that I practice at the shop, along with at home, is whenever you get these fittings, don't ever trust it directly out of the box. Unless it's a name brand company like Ingersoll, like, don't ever trust those fittings. Because anything that air passes through should definitely have thread sealant tape on it. Yes, I'll get a lot of backlash from this. I probably will eventually. But thread sealant tape. I don't trust the liquids because 90% of the time they do not solidify the way that they're supposed to. They don't lock the thread in there, and it's not an airtight seal. Two is because thread tape you can clear as day see. And again, I reiterate, this thing leaked like a sieve because they used the liquid. And also whoever was locking everything down, assembling this unit that day, decided they were going to torque the piss out of everything. Now, I 100% disassembled this after I got the replacement. The company had no issue sending me a new one. Apparently this happens every once in a while. And the one thing that I noticed was some of the liquid dried on the outside where it's not supposed to be at all. Whereas, and this fitting right here, yeah, I had to put my wrench against the table and then put all my weight into it to be able to actually get it to break free finally. Because they had this tightened down so much to where the shoulder was all the way up against the housing. The valve, on the other hand, I haven't taken this off yet. That's just nuts. Like, again, this isn't a bash at the company at all, the manufacturer of the air compressor. I 100% do not hate them or am throwing any backlash at them at all by making this video. What this is this is an educational purpose video. All air compressors, out of the box, before you even plug them in, check all the fittings. Check everything. And even that gauge right there, you know, I just turned it out by hand. Look at the sealant compound. It's still right there on the top. It's still wet. I've had this compressor since December 28th. It is now, I think, February 3rd, February 2nd, somewhere around there. But, ooh, it smells like snot. The actual intention of making this video isn't just to complain about this, because I'm not complaining about it. It was a little frustrating, but hey, I'm not running air impact tools. All I'm running is possibly a brad nailer every once in a while, maybe a staple gun. Blowgun, definitely, because sawdust gets everywhere. And I just want to educate you guys a little bit on air compressors. because this is a standard rule that we follow at my shop, at any shop I've ever been at, with anything air-wise. Same thing with hydraulics too. And I'm gonna jostle you around a little bit. Yeah. I hate that stand. But let's step over here. I don't have any epileptics watching, do I? As if I do. Feel better? Alright. So, on the actual air compressor itself, if I can flip the screen, this is the new regulator. Okay? Same thing. It came in, no thread tape on any of the threads, on the gauge, nothing whatsoever. So I took it apart, and of course, cleaned everything up, put thread tape where it was supposed to be, and then I started actually looking at the compressor, and I was wondering, yeah, this thing's actually kind of loud for what it is. And that's because that line wasn't tight. The elbow wasn't tight, and those are the ones coming directly out of the compressor motor itself. Again, this is not a bash at the company. I don't think I can say that enough during the video, so I hope they don't take that. But either way, when you get a new compressor, the first thing you're going to look for is anything that is going to have air passing through it, especially a threaded end, should always have thread tape. Thread tape, thread tape, thread tape. Cannot stress it enough. Even down here. This didn't have thread tape on it. At all. One bit. This line, I was literally able to just take my fingers and turn it right off. Same thing with this one. But this one, on the other hand, is a flared fitting. So it's not really exactly necessary to have thread tape there, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Same thing with the safety check valve. The safety check valve, I was same thing, able to unthread by hand. I don't know, maybe this thing was assembled on a Friday and they started the day off great because that asshole decided to over torque everything. But this guy, he didn't torque anything. And then we move on to the air filter. That thing made noise since day one. And I very quickly figured out that it's kind of a bitch to take off, so I'm not going to take this cap off to show you the air filter. But one thing I am going to say is a handy thing to have around the house if you don't have any kind of gasket material laying around, or you're not exactly like one of the best DIYers. Old clear shower curtain. 4 pieces of that. Lay your filter down right on top of it. Cut the outside portion first. Then after you get that little section cut out, take and lay it back down on it. Try and get it as close to center as humanly possible. Let me see, because I may have one of the cutoffs laying around here, possibly somewhere. And no, I don't, because it managed to grow legs. But either way, lay it down on top of it, then cut out what the inside portion of the circle should be. And I cannot stress this enough, with 90% of my materials that I have had to cut by hand over the years. Allow me to demonstrate. 90% of the materials I have cut over the years, I never really actually worry about making the cut the very first pass. And this is any time you're working with any material whatsoever, whether it be visqueen, rubber, vinyl, nylon, fiber cloth, hell, even paper towels. Never try and get it all on the first cut. What you're going to want to do is just sit there and just kind of mark out your shape with the tool first. Just make it like a little top layer cut, right? after you get that top layer cut, then's when your finesse work goes into it. You actually just sit there and make multiple finite cuts. Yeah, it takes a minute, but the end result is always worth it. And the reason why is because making multiple passes like that with your cutter gives you more control. You're less apt to hurt yourself. And you end up with a straight, clean cut every single time. And also, yes, this is an extremely sharp blade. So yeah, I really don't want to lose an appendage. Other than that, that's a quick one for today. I hope to actually get to start building stuff for you guys. I do apologize for the latency in the videos. If anybody has actually been expecting any from the subscribers that I have, all 8 of them. Woo! Not a sponsor yet again. But we had a bit of an issue with the filming equipment because the filming equipment I have is my phone. One of these days I am actually going to upgrade to a GoPro, but until then, hey, what are you going to do? Phone took a crap, lost all the footage, so I can't show you guys anything of before my wife decided to paint the island that I built for her. I really wish we could have. It was an extremely simple build, simple video. I think I probably put about maybe $25 of my own money into it, and the rest of it was all just scraps of wood that I had laying around. Other than that, guys, let me know what you want to see. Throw it down in the comments, because I need a little bit of a challenge, but a challenge within my range of what I can do with the limited amount of tooling and equipment that I have at home. Because I don't know what to make for you guys. I really don't. So, honestly, in hindsight of editing this video, I do want to mention the fact that the Visqueen, the clear vinyl, only works for the air filter on the air compressor. Does not work for your motor. Okay? And don't go and try that. I should have mentioned that during the recording of the video, but sometimes we get a little stupid, guys. Other than that, again, the video is educational for you guys, just throwing it out there. All you new to air compressor people, hell, you might even have a compressor at your house. You think it's been running fine for years, but you notice a lack of power. For the most part, that's why there's no thread tape. Fittings might be looser than hell. I don't know, but that's my personal preference on everything that I do having to do with air compressors. The only thing I use the vinyl for is the air filter. Air filter. That's it. To make it actually seal and work as it should. And it was only used as a gasket spacer to actually lock it in place and keep the thing from making a bunch of noise. Because realistically, my fans are off right now. I generally have fans running in the garage because, well, we're in Florida, it's hot. And this compressor runs amazingly quiet. If you can get it to start. Right now, I can still talk to you guys. I'm not overpowered by the compressor at all. I give a big shout out to California Air Tools. Their compressors, hellaciously awesome quality, amazing supply of air power, and this isn't sponsored by them or anything. I'm just complimenting on them on a hell of a air compressor. It's surprisingly quiet. It's great if you're in a residential area or if you want to work in your garage at night and not wake up your neighbors. I just cannot wait. I hope they have something in the Steamworks to bring out a 60-gallon version, because my shop would love to have two of them. See? Dead quiet. Other than that, guys, love your faces. As the Arc Knight always says, grab your cheers, crack your beers, and remember, if I can do it, you can do it. Just takes a little common sense.